I have gathered you all here today because I want to show you an old relic that I used to hold very near and dear to my heart. My old Kobo! This is not continued anymore. This has been completely discontinued, so it's old. I thought it would be fun today to crack this baby open and kind of see what I was reading on here. I used to read a lot on this thing. I used to find free books or books that were like $1 to $2. I remember reading some things that were not appropriate for my age, but it's okay. It has shaped me into the person I am today, and I wouldn't change a thing. So let's get this open. It's been a while since I filmed up here, but let's go. On the box, it says Touch Edition. I think this is when Touch had first started coming out. I'm not sure when this actually came out, though. Please charge your e-reader. Just upon looking at this, it's a little dusty. I remember this being a little bit of a lighter color, and then it's kind of sticky now. It's not sticky, it's grippy. I don't know, I just remember this feeling different, just in the way I'm holding it or the way. You know what though, it would make sense. I'm not a child anymore. It's got a little button here. Oh, and then my on and off button, which just slides. The receipts are in here, oh my god. How much do Kobos go for nowadays? Because, how much did we spend? $101.69. Nice. My subtotal was $89.99. This thing used to be $100. I know they ain't cheap, and people would probably kill to have one for $100 nowadays. It seems like I could still use this if it works. Okay, let's see if I can find something to plug it in. Oh, I just noticed this upon filming that little clip. Oh, it might be an SD card thing. Okay, I found this review for it. It's got a 1-star review on newegg.ca. I don't know what this is, but that's okay. And it says, pros, great battery life, responsive screen. Cons, very easily broken screen. Customer service is pretty bad. After a year, just about everyone's fails to turn on from failed software and hardware. Overall review, don't buy such a low quality product. Look at Kindles or Nooks or something else. That review was from 2013, and I found one on YouTube with this same Kobo from 14 years ago. So that would have been, what, 2011.
A few moments later.
It's done, it's done, it's done, it's done, it's done. I think. It is not that time, oh my god. Let's fix these real quick. This is gonna take a while. Okay, she's all set. So I'm just gonna open up my library. I have 20 items in here. I've got Beauty and the Beast, 2 versions of them, 4 Weird Tales by Algernon Blackwood. I don't even know who that is. A 3rd rendition of Beauty and the Beast. 99-cent ebook, The Amazing Grimm's Fairy Tales. I still love fairy tales. I've read all of ACOTAR. I've read Throne of Glass up until Empire of Storms, and I need to reread them. That is on my list. I've read Fourth Wing. Oh my god, my whole library downstairs is just fantasy stuff. Enchanted, 13 Secrets, A Killer First Date, a Drake Chronicles novella. Ooh. Oh, I read Beautiful Disaster. Wait, wasn't that turned into a movie? You can see I have Beautiful Disaster, and then Heaven is for Real. Listen, I grew up going to Catholic school. First of all, that is just a one-way ticket to like agnosticism and atheism. I don't believe in that stuff anymore. I also don't judge if you do. Like, believe in whatever you want to believe in, just so long as you're not a bad person. The Arena Wars, The Awakening, War of Hearts, Another Year, an essay, Romeo and Juliet. Oh, look at that. Another Beauty and the Beast. What's reading life? How much did I read? 13% of your library is complete, and I have 49.7 total hours. read. I remember reading so much more. Maybe I'm thinking of Wattpad. To those Kobo users who are currently using Kobo, does it look the same? Let's go back to my library. And let's go to, is this Unenchanted? No, Grimm's Fairy Tales. Whoa, you can't even see that. I'm confused because I looked up Austen for Jane Austen and it is saying there are 0 results. But when I go here, under the bookstore option, there's Pride and Prejudice. Oh, it's a memoir. But still, if I typed in her last name, why is it not showing up? As I'm continuing to tinker with this, I found chess, or sketchpad, and Sudoku. Should I start drawing? I'm getting a memory. Been reading like crazy today. I took the GO train to the harbor front and I read by the water. I read on the GO train there and back as well, and now I've just been kind of sitting in my car at the station because I just can't stop reading. I couldn't remember my login at all, and I tried getting into my really old email, but it wasn't working, and I kind of got locked out of the account, and I don't want to log out of my account here because it still has all the books that I used to read and I'm kind of attached to it. So the workaround was a micro SD card. So now I can go onto Anna's archive, download the books that I want to read, and then just put it on the SD card and like slap it in here and I have my books. Honestly, like the lighting isn't that bad. I could read perfectly clear. I think when the light starts to go down, when daylight starts to go down, it's kind of like playing an old Game Boy. It's now the morning and I have finished Great Big Beautiful Life. It was good. I don't think it was her best writing. I'll just tell you my ranking of the Emily Henry books. For the longest time I fought between Book Lovers and Beach Read to be first, but I am a sucker for broody men at the end of the day, and I think the pacing felt a little more natural. Well, no, the pacing in both of those were actually pretty good. So I ended up with Book Lovers, Beach Read, and now I'm currently fighting between Great Big Beautiful Life or Funny Story, then Great Big Beautiful Life. There were some things on the pacing that I wasn't a big fan of in Great Big Beautiful Life, and there were things in the pacing that I didn't like in Funny Story. But the thing is, I found Funny Story to be a little too cheesy, but it was still very well written compared to this one, in my opinion. So I'm stuck there right now, and then it's Happy Place, and then People We Meet on Vacation. I have felt like I kind of had to push myself through that one. So keep in mind, these are just opinions. You are entitled to your own, but Emily Henry is still like, she has become one of my favorite authors. Each of these books I did within like 2 days. I've been looking it up, and no Kindle or Kobo within recent years has an external SD slot like my old one, so I think it's just worth keeping this one. I would really like the ease of highlighting a little better, but honestly it's not that important. I've never tabbed my books before, but having an e-reader makes me want to do that, but I can't. Not really on this, at least not very nicely. But it's more worth having the SD card in my books, I think. I can always take notes if I really am up for it. So do you like my watch tan? Pretty fun, isn't it? Can you see it from here? Maybe from here? I've showered, I'm ready for the day. I feel so much better. I went ahead and downloaded a couple more books that I'm going to read throughout the week, and I'm very excited about it. Nice little escape. I have downloaded The Love Hypothesis by Ali Hazelwood and Forget Me Not by Julie Soto. I remember going to Indigo and reading the first chapter of Forget Me Not, and I liked it. I didn't look at what it was about. It's my least favorite trope. I have this thing about finishing books. I kind of force myself to finish books, even though sometimes I may not be enjoying it, and I'm working on that, because if a book isn't for you, you don't have to finish it. I had this one thing back when I was younger where I thought I had to eat cereal in the morning, until I realized sometime in high school, like, if I don't like cereal, I don't have to eat it. I don't know why, something so simple like that. But I'm still getting over that kind of thing with books. I finished Julie Soto's book called Forget Me Not on the Kobo. It was pretty good. There were some things that took me out of it, like how rude Elliot's personality was, and the acceptance as if being rude is fine just because it's his way of being. I think she was trying to tackle the broody male, but I think there's a very specific kind of broodiness that I like. One that's kind of more shut off, closed off, and distanced to people, not rude. You can be broody and not be genuinely rude to people who don't deserve that. I personally wasn't a fan of that. I didn't really resonate with that, but some people might. I like who he was as the book progressed. It was spicier than I would have liked it to be, I think. I'm somebody who doesn't mind a little bit of it. I used to be into it, but now as time goes on, I think I'm getting a little sick of it. I want the yearning. I want the innocence of like a touch of the hand. I think it's just become so popular now that I'm craving something different. So yeah, I finished that when I was in the hospital, and I started The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. Also, while I was waiting in the hospital. Reading on the Kobo, it's kind of getting a bit weird now because sometimes, at least with Julie Soto's book, I'm not sure if it's going to be a thing from now on. The font size kept getting really small for some chapters, and then it went back to my normal size that I set it for after like a chapter or two. It was really weird, and it kept going back and forth between that. I'm pretty sure there's going to be spice in this one too. I never really look into these authors, so I think there's just going to be a lot of spice, and I'm just going to have to kind of deal with it. Chapter 1. I will say though, I am really enjoying the portability of an e-reader. I'm still immersed, not as much as I would be reading a physical book, but this still gets the job done. You still get the satisfaction of reading. Yeah, just popping this in the pocket of my purse has been so nice. I'm on chapter 8 of The Love Hypothesis by Hazelwood. My honest review about it so far is I really like how at the beginning of each chapter there's a hypothesis, and then it just kind of gives you a glimpse into what the chapter is going to be about. I think that's a very nice touch. I think the storyline is really cute and fun. Some of my critiques so far, I don't like how the main character says "oh" a lot for a response, just "oh." I think the author herself could have been a little more descriptive in terms of, I guess, an answer, or maybe just in a facial expression, description in like the actions instead of a verbal response. But other than that, I am pretty much enjoying it. I think what happens a lot in rom-com books in general, like this isn't just an Hazelwood thing, sometimes authors like to make their characters jump to conclusions so unnecessarily and kind of dramatically that it takes me out of it, because I don't like that kind of immaturity in somebody who's supposed to be an adult. So it just takes me out of the book because, I don't know, it doesn't feel as realistic to me, and a healthy relationship wouldn't have that. I like a more realistic approach when it comes to these things. I like the story, but if I have to read one more O, I'm going to scream. I'm on the epilogue. It finally happened. Their feelings were out in the open, and I love that part like that. They're turning this into a movie, so I guess this is the perfect time to read this. I just found that out today. I'm so excited now. I love the age gap. I love that he calls her sweetheart every once in a while, but when he did, it was so cute. I loved the consent in the spicy scene. I love how this book isn't just complete spice, it's yearning that leads to a scene of spice. That's the spice I'm okay with, not the one that's like, first chapter, oh, we're you know, I don't want to swear right now. I am not a fan of spice if it just happens. This spice is okay because it's not happening a bunch of times throughout the book, and it actually builds up to it, and the consent that was happening in it was so like, yes, this is what I can get with. So was it worth resurrecting my 14-year-old Kobo? Yes, very much so. The things that I absolutely loved about this was the accessibility of everything. Financially, I didn't have to do anything because, again, I bought this 14 years ago. Also, you're not spending as much money, if at all, depending on which websites you are using to download your books. I will have to say I haven't read this much in a week in so long, and it feels so good. It's so portable and lightweight. I like just popping this in the pocket of my purse. It fits perfectly. It fits on the outside pocket, so I don't have to worry about anything spilling. I still like physical books a lot better. I feel like I can be more immersed in the story if I'm physically flipping the pages myself, but this still gets the job done just fine. The question is now, am I going to buy a new one? Well, okay, here's the thing. With this Kobo, it would be nice to have had a backlight, especially for night reading. I had to read with my light on, and I have trouble getting tired and sleepy for bed. I wish it kind of had a backlight, but again, it's 14 years old. The Kobo also started freezing at random times, and I had to restart the whole thing. It's kind of slow to restart. The touch response is slow itself too, and the highlighting isn't the greatest. You can highlight on this thing, but it's really slow. Sometimes you can't even tap the word that you want specifically. So it was just a super minor inconvenience. All of this is just a small price to pay for the accessibility of this specific one, the financial freedom in having this one too. I guess I don't really see the need to get a new one right now. This one is working just fine. It would be nice, but this one does have the micro SD card slot, and I would put that above everything negative that I just mentioned. It's just so much easier to download a book into the SD card and then slap it in here, and there's your book. If I read a lot of books on here, maybe I'll consider it, but again, it has to do with my income. $300 is a lot of money to spend to read books. I guess over time the money would break even and the finances would kind of even out, and then it would be more worth it depending on how many books you read. Does that make sense though? Like, you spend $300 and you pay less for a book, but over time the more physical books you buy, it kind of, the extra money you spend will work out to $300 eventually that you could have just spent on a Kindle or Kobo. But I can see myself being totally stuck between which one to get. If you like Kobo or Kindle, please do let me know in the comments what you like about it, what you don't like about it, and maybe what your favorite books are. I will always take book recommendations. I will eventually be very confused about which one I want. I like how Kindle connects to your Goodreads. Kobo feels more like home to me because obviously I've had one for 14 years. Even if you accidentally clicked on this video, I do really appreciate you being here. If you want to see more videos in the name of self-growth, please do consider subscribing. I don't know, I think we have fun here. And it'd be fun to just build a little community where we get to talk about stuff. I hope you have a lovely day, night, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. See ya!